Today on Cassidys Craveable Creations, we're making keto chocolate cupcakes with a soft and tender crumb with a smooth and creamy chocolate buttercream frosting. Hi, I'm Cassidy and I'm excited to have my husband Caleb back helping with me today. And today we're making really easy but delicious keto chocolate cupcakes. So you ready to get started?
Yes, and I'm excited to be here as well.
Good, I'm glad. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mix some non-dairy milk with some vinegar. The vinegar, it kind of makes like a homemade buttermilk and helps react with the baking soda to give the cupcakes a nice initial rise in the oven. So we're just going to set that aside, and we do use non-dairy milk because regular milk tends to have quite a few carbs. And so next, all we're going to do is we're going to whisk together all of the dry ingredients. We have blanched almond flour, cocoa powder, ground flaxseed.
Are you pointing because you think I forgot what everything was?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you know what everything is. And then we have a baking powder, baking soda, and sea salt. So we'll just whisk this together, and if there's any clumps in it, like mine, you can just kind of use your hands to break up the clumps, and then we'll set this aside. Now in a medium-sized saucepan over medium heat, we're going to add some butter or non-dairy butter and some keto sweetener. I like to use erythritol-based, so any erythritol-based keto sweetener will work. And we're just going to stir this until the butter is melted and the sweetener is dissolved. Now this is nice and melted, we're going to add it to our dry ingredients. You want to do it? Well, I'll do it. Okay, you want to stir this up a little bit? Actually, maybe I'll stir it up a little bit while you add the rest of the wet ingredients. Okay. We have, what is that? Oh, that's our milk and, yeah, our buttermilk and milk and vinegar mixture. What else we got? Pure vanilla.
Yep.
Yeah. This is some brewed coffee. It doesn't make the cupcakes taste like coffee. It just enhances the chocolate flavor. And if you don't want to use coffee, you can just add a little bit more non-dairy milk. So now let's add the eggs. We have 3 eggs, and it's easier to combine if you stir well after each egg. Otherwise, they're kind of hard to mix into the batter. Now we're going to scoop the batter into these lined muffin tins, and we want each of the muffin cups to be about 3/4 of the way full. Now we're going to bake these at 350 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes or until a toothpick inserted into the center barely comes out clean, because we don't want them to be overcooked, because if they're overcooked, they'll be dry. The cupcakes came out of the oven and they're cool. They smell so delicious. So now we're going to work on the keto chocolate buttercream frosting recipe. So first we're going to start by beating some butter or non-dairy butter that's room temperature. And I have a link in my recipe card about how to quickly bring butter to room temperature. And we're going to also beat in some cream cheese. And cream cheese isn't always usually in buttercream recipes, but if you watched my vanilla buttercream recipe, which I will put a link to up here over Caleb's left-hand shoulder, you'll see that the reason I always add cream cheese is because even though I prefer to use a monk fruit allulose keto sweetener, which dissolves better than any other keto sweetener out there, it can still kind of have some texture issues and be a little bit grainy. So I always add cream cheese, and if you're dairy-free, you can use dairy-free cream cheese. It'll just have a little bit stronger cream cheese taste, and you might need to add a little bit extra sweetener to thicken it. So we're going to start by beating this until it's nice and creamy. Okay, so now we're going to add in the powdered sweetener. And if you can't find powdered allulose monk fruit blend, which is what I recommend, you can use Swerve or Lakanto. It's fine because the cream cheese helps take care of the texture issues, even though they don't dissolve quite as well. We have pure vanilla, a pinch of sea salt because we use unsweetened butter. I mean, not unsweetened, unsalted butter. And then let's just start by adding maybe 2 tablespoons of cream. Heavy whipping cream will work, and this is dairy-free heavy whipping cream, or you can use coconut cream or non-dairy milk. Just put in just like a little splash and we'll see how thick it is. Okay, let's beat this. Oh, we forgot the cocoa powder. We almost forgot the cocoa powder to make the frosting, so the chocolate frosting. So let's add the cocoa powder. Now we'll just beat this until it's creamy. Ooh, this looks so rich and creamy. I'm gonna take a little bite before we frost the Pepsi.
Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit.
Okay. Ooh, that's good. I'm really excited about that. Okay, let's frost the cupcakes. I have a mason jar here, and then I just put a piping tip in the corner of a plastic baggie. I'm gonna stick this down in here and hold it up. I'm gonna scoop some, or I'll scoop some frosting in. Okay, you remember how to frost cupcakes?
Nope.
Okay, you hold it, everything needs to be exactly straight up and down. And you start in the middle and you work your way out, and you can stop there or you can continue and make a nice tall cupcake with frosting. And I think that's what I'm gonna do with all of these. I'm gonna continue and make a tall.
This is what it looks like a rose.
Well, when you stop, it looks like a rose, but then you continue, it's more like a classic cupcake, which is what I'm gonna do today, is the classic cupcake on all of these. I'll just start in the middle here. We're getting frosting everywhere, but we've had a lot of fun frosting these cupcakes here. And now we're gonna make them extra pretty with some sprinkles. Ooh, more frosting. Here, I'll use a napkin. Okay, let's put some pretty sprinkles on them. Okay. Now the ultimate test is tasting them, because they can't just look pretty, they have to taste good. You ready to try it?
I am ready.
Okay. Open it up here. There we go. Let's get some frosting. Ooh, this looks so good. Oh, can you see that crumb? Looks so delicious. Mmm.
I see you're not going to share. So
I'm not sharing.
I'll get my own.
They're chocolate cupcakes. I can't share those. They're too good to share.
Very good.
Mmm, so delicious. The cake is really chocolatey and light and fluffy, and then the frosting is creamy and smooth, and I really think you're going to love this recipe.
Yeah, and be sure and like us and subscribe.
Dun, 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 dun.